Welcome back to the Grand Slam channel. NFL Sunday has arrived. Reminder, we got Patrick Mahomes free square. If you haven't used it, it expires today. This is the type of promos that PrizePicks should be offering more. Make sure you guys pair it up with your favorite Gobby or favorite prop of the day. I still have it. Not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. If I want to take the double up or do on a regular prop, I will post that on my Discord. Most likely I will post it on Twitter and Instagram as well. But let's get started. I do have 5 good props. I am doing this video the night prior, so a lot of the value is coming in the night prior, but these lines will be moving closer to game time. So let's get started. First one I like, I'm going to be targeting that Bills and Lions game. It is a playoff matchup atmosphere. It's going to be a big game between one of the top two teams in the NFL. Obviously, the Lions only have one loss. The Bills should be close to clinching playoffs as well. So first one is going to be David Montgomery, but you can take Jamar Gibbs as well. I'm going to lean towards Montgomery. He's been a wagon for me for the past 6 weeks that I've been taking him. And for him, you have several options. You can take his fantasy score, rushing yards, his rushing receiving yards. But personally, I'm going to be taking his receiving yards, which is at 17.5. Right now, it's the lowest value on PrizePicks. If you compared it to other platforms that have it at 18.5 or 19.5, right now at 17.5, you're getting some good value. As you can see, it's already becoming a popular play. It's a wagon. Past 6 times I've taken, he's gone over. Past 10 games, he's gone over 9 of 10. As you can see, his past 5. So it's going to be favored for the public. As you can see, it's already gaining popularity. But I like this before it gets bumped any further. That is my first leg. Second one is going to be Jerry Jeudy from the Cleveland Browns. And he's had some monster games the past couple of weeks. For him, I do like his receiving yards at 70.5. You can play safe. You can take any of these 3 gobbies. His regular line, I do like it at 70.5. But for him, I might be taking his fantasy score. He does have touchdown potential. Fantasy score, followed by his receptions, and then his receiving yards are my top 3 options for him. But for fantasy score, I will be taking the over. His receptions is solid at 5. It's going to get bumped to 5.5. You do have that push equity. Going against the Chiefs, obviously, is going to be one of the main targets for the Browns if they want to get any offense going through against the Chiefs. If you're taking money line, obviously, I do have the Chiefs winning. But Jerry should have a solid game. Third leg I'm going to take is Juno Smith. Past 2 times I've been taking him, he's been cashing for me. The matchup is there for him, for Juno Smith. PrizePicks is a little bit slow tonight. But for Juno Smith, I do like his fantasy score. Receiving yards is solid. I prefer his Gobby at 39.5 or his other Gobby at 29.5. He's got several options. All these are different payouts. But for him, I will be taking his fantasy score at a solid 11. Should clear this line. As you see, the past couple of games, he's obviously has a ceiling of close to 30. The matchup is there going against Houston. Obviously, Tua is throwing like he usually does. So Juno Smith should get plenty of receptions in this game, and that should increase his fantasy score. That is my third leg. Fourth one I'll be going with, it's going to be Saquon Barkley. You can never go wrong with Saquon Barkley. And for him, I'll be taking his rush and receiving yards, which is at 114, I believe. Right now, it's one of the lowest lines on PrizePicks as well. Compared it to Sleeper and Underdog, it's a little bit higher. So you're getting some value right now on PrizePicks, surprisingly. It's at 114. If you take it on Sleeper or any other platform, it's at 116. I have him clearing this line just on rushing yards alone. He gets about 2 or 3 receptions. He averages about 2 or 3 receptions. He should have a big game against Pittsburgh. Should be a good competitive game. Pittsburgh is in the hunt, if not in the playoffs already. Philly is nearly clinching, if not they did already. But Saquon, 114.5, I'll be taking the over on that. But you can take his fantasy score or his rushing yards. And my final leg is going to be Russell Wilson. I do want to target Josh Allen, which I did. I did target him on Sleeper. His passing yards was a bit lower. So I target Josh Allen over there. But for this one, I'm going to be targeting Russell Wilson. Passing yards is at 198.5. I like to mention on Sleeper, you can get it at 190.5. For some reason, they have Russell Wilson less than 200 yards against the Eagles. I think he's going to clear this line well over 200 yards. Last time they had his line under 200 yards, he soared over with 414. That was against the Bengals. So I know he had a bad game against the Cleveland Browns at 158. He should definitely bounce back and clear over 200 yards against a marquee matchup against the Eagles. So I'll be taking over his 198.5. But obviously another QBs that I like for passing yards. You can't go wrong with Mahomes. Lamar Jackson. I do like Lamar Jackson's passing touchdowns. Bo Nix passing yards is also good. But those are the ones I like to mention. But these are the 5 strong right now. Daily Grind Fantasy has all of these props going over at a 53.8% hit rate. Excellent value. They're going to get bumped further. Russell Wilson will be over 200.